Wait, you knew my wedding was coming up and you still went and got into an accident? What the hell is that? Are you serious? You couldn't be careful? Was it on purpose or something? You're not coming to my wedding now? So what? You're not happy for me or something?
Huh? What are you talking about? I didn't plan on having an accident, and you know I didn't want this to happen, right? I mean, no one ever expects to get into an accident. I definitely didn't. I really wanted to be at your wedding, but right now, even sending you this message is a struggle for me. I'm really sorry.
Oh, please, don't give me that. You're lying, aren't you? You're just jealous because I'm the first one of our group to get married, aren't you? I thought you were my best friend. Is this how you show it, by trying to avoid giving me a wedding gift or showing up to support me? I can't believe you'd stoop this low.
Jealous? No way! I'm really not! And I'd never avoid giving you a gift or showing up for your big day, I swear! I really did prepare everything. I even had my dress ready. I was looking forward to attending your wedding, but this accident... I can't help that it happened. I'm sorry. I promise I'll find a way to celebrate with you later, even if I can't make it to the ceremony. I'll give you the gift, I promise.
Yeah, I heard you're in a wheelchair because of the accident, but that's no excuse. You knew how important this was for me. How can you skip out on my wedding, the most important day of my life? You're the one who's supposed to be at the reception desk, too. Are you seriously going to flake on that responsibility, too?
I really didn't want this to happen. I know it's a huge inconvenience. And I feel terrible about not being able to help with the reception. But please, can you find someone else to cover for me? I hate asking you this, but I can't do it.
You're kidding, right? Do you have any idea how stressful a wedding is? And now on top of everything, I have to deal with this last-minute problem. This is seriously the worst. There is no way I can just find someone else at this point. You're putting me in a terrible position by bailing at the last second. If you don't show up, we're done as friends. I'm cutting ties with you. This is it.
Juliet, can't you try to see things from my side for just a moment? I'm not doing this on purpose. It's just this accident really caught me off guard.
See things from your side? Are you serious right now? You're the one who isn't thinking about my situation. You're going to embarrass me by not showing up. Do you have any idea how bad it looks when someone in charge of something as important as the reception desk cancels last minute? People will think I have the worst friends ever, and if you don't show up, I'm going to make sure everyone knows all of your embarrassing secrets. Remember how you used to like that guy? Well, guess what? He actually liked me all along. He told me everything, but you had no idea. You were there acting all happy for me, pretending you were fine when we started dating. Oh, and that's not even the worst of it. There's plenty more I can tell everyone about your embarrassing past.
Juliet, this is blackmail.
Oh, did I forget to mention? Remember that senior you had a crush on back in the day? Well, turns out he's going to be at my wedding too. He's my fiance's junior from college. Isn't that funny?
What? No way. Davis? He's going to be there?
Yep, and if you don't show up, I'll make sure he knows all the pathetic details about your little crush on him. And let's be honest, if you're really the kind of friend who won't even bother showing up to my wedding, then I don't see why I should keep any of your embarrassing stories to myself. I'm not afraid to spill the tea, so you'd better get your act together.
I see. If it's come to this, then I guess there's nothing I can do.
Remember how we all encouraged you to confess your feelings to him? But you got so nervous that you ended up with a stomachache and had to hide in the bathroom. You couldn't even come out. You completely bailed on the whole thing. I was dying trying to keep a straight face while you panicked.
You really thought that was funny? I had no idea you felt that way.
Oh, come on. It's hilarious. And trust me, you don't want that kind of stuff getting out, right? So just show up to the wedding. I don't care if you're in a wheelchair. You better be there.
All right, I'll come. Even if I have to bring the wheelchair and my medical equipment, I'll be there. Is that okay with you?
Finally! Took you long enough to come to your senses. I don't care what condition you're in, just be there.
Yeah, okay. I'll be there.
And don't be late, I mean it. You're already on thin ice as it is.
I'll do my best.
Dana, are you seriously going to go to Juliet's wedding like this? How could you? You know it's not safe for you to push yourself this hard. I can't believe it. Juliet told me she's dead set on making sure you attend, but are you really going to go through with this?
Yeah, I guess Juliet told you about it. She really pushed me hard earlier. I tried to explain to her that I can't make it in my condition, but she was so insistent. She said there's no way she could ask anyone else to handle the reception this late and that it would be humiliating if I didn't show up. She made it seem like me not coming would be some kind of disaster for her.
What? Are you serious? That's just unbelievable. Juliet is really being that selfish?
Yeah, I was honestly a little shocked myself. I told her that I'd be in a wheelchair and everything, but she said she didn't care, that I had to show up no matter what. She even said I could crawl in if I had to.
But Dana, in your condition, it's just not realistic. If you go like this, you're only going to stand out in a bad way. Don't you think it's better for everyone if you don't push yourself?
I know. I tried to explain that too. I even told her that I'm not in any shape to wear the dress I bought and that it would probably just cause problems if I showed up. But she didn't care. To her, what matters most is that I'm there. She even said if I don't show up, we're done as friends.
That's just insane. How could she be so unreasonable? And, I've been thinking this for a while, but ever since Juliet's wedding plans got finalized, she's really changed, hasn't she?
Yeah, I've noticed it too. Before, we were always in sync and hanging out with her was fun. But after she got engaged, it feels like she's been looking down on us, doesn't it?
Totally. It's like she's been treating us like pawns in her wedding plans. And now forcing you to come to her wedding despite your situation, it's like she only cares about how things look, not how we actually feel. Does she even think of us as friends anymore, or are we just props to make her big day look perfect?
Yeah, I've been feeling the same way. It's like she's desperate to maintain this perfect image. And I think it's partly because her fiancé is such a high-profile guy, like this perfect elite type. It's almost as if she's trying to make herself seem more important by association, you know?
Exactly. I've been thinking the same thing. It's like she started to look down on me for not having a boyfriend. And don't even get me started on that time when she made that snide comment about my boyfriend not working for a big company. Do you remember? She was like, "Are you sure you're okay with that? As a woman, it's better to snag a man who can provide, right?" I was furious. Who does she think she is telling me that? I don't pick men based on how much money they make.
Yeah, it's like she's become someone else. She was never like this before. And get this, earlier today, she tried to blackmail me. She threatened to spread my embarrassing stories if I didn't show up to the wedding. She actually brought up stuff from years ago to use against me. I mean, I honestly don't care about those things anymore, but the fact that she'd go that far, I was shocked.
Are you serious? She's blackmailing you now? That's just... wow. She really thinks she's something special now that she's marrying into a good family, doesn't she?
Yeah, that's probably what it is. But honestly, even if I do end up going to the wedding, I don't think things will go the way she expects.
You know what? I'll talk to her too. This whole thing is ridiculous. Forcing you to come in a wheelchair is just wrong on so many levels. I'm actually meeting her before the wedding to go over some things, so I'll take the opportunity to say something. I'll tell her to cut you some slack and to stop being so unreasonable. You need to take care of yourself.
Really? That would be a huge help. I don't know how else to make her understand. Thanks so much.
Of course, you don't have to deal with this alone. I'll talk to her and set her straight. This is too much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I feel like I've been in over my head with all of this.
You? What the hell did you do? How could you show up at my wedding looking like that? What were you thinking?
What do you mean, what was I thinking? I told you, I'm in a wheelchair now. You knew that already. I even mentioned that I'd have to bring along the necessary medical equipment, right? So none of this should be surprising to you.
But still, this is just too much. You looked like an absolute mess. What was with all that? You came in here with an IV drip hanging off of you. And your head, wrapped in bandages like that. You couldn't even move on your own, and Amy had to push your wheelchair the entire time. And during the reception, you were just sitting there doing nothing. You couldn't even help with anything, could you?
Yes, exactly. I already explained this, didn't I? I told you that coming here would likely be a burden and cause more problems than it would solve. But you still insisted that I come to your wedding. You told me to be there no matter what, even if I had to crawl, remember?
Well, yeah, I did say that, but I didn't expect you to come looking like you just walked out of a hospital. Do you have any idea what people were saying? Everyone's whispering about it behind my back. People are asking me why I even invited someone who's clearly in no condition to attend a wedding. It's embarrassing.
Actually, I already dealt with that. I put up screenshots of our messages for everyone to see. Now, everyone here knows the truth. A lot of the guests are actually really sympathetic toward me. Many of them have come up to me and told me that I should be at home resting instead of coming to this wedding. So it's not the disaster you're making it out to be. Amy helped me with that too. She made sure there was something prepared in case this situation happened. You know, to explain why I showed up like this, in a wheelchair and hooked up to medical equipment.
Wait, what do you mean? You told them about our conversation?
Yeah, I think people understand the situation now. I made it clear that you were fully aware of my condition beforehand. I let them know that I tried to tell you I wouldn't be able to attend, but you wouldn't listen. You insisted that I come to your wedding, even if I had to drag myself here. So yeah, I think that pretty much cleared things up for everyone.
What the hell were you thinking showing everyone those messages?
Look, I'm really not feeling well. I think I pushed myself too hard by coming here.
What are you talking about? What is wrong with you now?
I'm sorry, but I think I need to leave. I tried my best to stay, but it's too much for me. I'm going to rest for a bit and see if I feel any better. If I can't make it back, I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated.
Hey, are you okay, Juliet?
I wanted to talk to you when I could, but I still feel weak after what happened today. I'm really sorry for everything earlier.
Yeah, well, after you got taken away by the ambulance, my fiancé called it off. The wedding's been canceled because of everything that happened. I'm sorry for rushing you too hard.
I see. I'm really sorry the wedding got canceled. I didn't want to cause any trouble, but I guess I did, huh?
Listen, I need you to talk to my husband and his family. Can you come out for a bit? Right now, my husband and his family are absolutely furious. They're saying that I forced my seriously injured friend to come to the wedding just for my selfish reasons. And then you ended up in an ambulance. They're calling me reckless and inconsiderate, but we're best friends, right? You wanted to come, didn't you? I need you to explain to them that you came because you wanted to, even if it meant pushing yourself.
What? Are you serious? I didn't want to go at all.
What?
I told you from the start I couldn't make it, remember? I clearly said I wasn't able to attend, but you forced me to come. You even threatened me into it, remember? Amy helped me make a poster with the screenshots of our chat, and we posted it for everyone to see. Everyone already read it. They know exactly what happened. And they saw how I ended up in an ambulance because you pushed me to come. There's no taking that back now.
No, please don't say that. That whole thing was just a joke between us. It wasn't serious. Just tell them you came because you wanted to. That's all you have to do. Just say that and everything will be fine.
So you want me to lie for you? You want me to cover your selfish behavior? Why should I do that? Why should I help someone who forced me into a horrible situation and then asks me to come and clean up their mess? Are you seriously asking me to do this for you? You literally just asked if I could come out and talk to them after I was sent away in an ambulance. You're unbelievable.
But this is the only way. I'm in so much trouble right now. My fiancé is furious and his family's talking about calling the whole marriage off. If that happens, it'll be your fault. You'll be the one to ruin my marriage.
You can say whatever you want. If you really think that's my fault, you've got bigger problems than just the wedding. You brought all this on yourself, not me. Maybe if you hadn't been so self-centered, things wouldn't have gone this way. But you didn't care about anyone else, and now you're paying the price.
But you don't understand. I was about to marry someone from a top company. A real elite, someone who could make over $100,000 a year. He's a walking success story, and now you're telling me I have to go back to square one? You're telling me my perfect life is ruined? Do you know what this means for me?
That's your problem. If you can only think about your own life and your own gain, then you've got no one else to blame. Honestly, I thought of you as my best friend for a long time. But it turns out you just saw me as a pawn, someone you could manipulate to serve your own needs. I don't owe you anything.
You don't understand. His family is so strict, and I wanted everything to be perfect. I had to make sure nothing went wrong. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I want it to be flawless for him.
Yeah, I get it. You were desperate to be perfect for him. But guess what? People are talking. I heard from Amy how you told her that my situation was just an inconvenience. And that I was going to ruin your big day. Honestly, I already expected something like this from you. But after all that, do you really think I'm going to go out of my way to help you?
Please, don't do this. If you don't help me, I really won't be able to get married. My family's fed up with me too. They're talking about cutting ties with me over this. Look, I'll apologize for forcing you to come. Just help me out here, please. I'll make it right.
No, I'm not going to help you. You've made this mess all on your own. This is what happens when you're so obsessed with your own happiness that you can't even think about how you're treating the people around you. You thought you could push me around and everything would still go your way. But guess what? It doesn't work like that. It's time you faced reality. You're on your own.
Dana, are you okay? Juliet actually came to the hospital to attack you? What happened?
Amy, thank you for reaching out. Yeah, I was just as shocked as you are. First, I was already reeling from the news that I might be seriously ill. And then being told I needed to be hospitalized immediately. That was hard enough to take. But for her to pretend she was coming to visit me only to attack me? I never saw it coming.
She took advantage of the fact that you're at your weakest? That is beyond disgusting. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. Luckily, a nurse happened to be nearby, so things didn't escalate too much. But I really didn't think she'd go that far.
That is some next-level revenge. I can't believe she actually did that. I wish I could rush over to see you right now, but with visiting hours...
No, it's okay. Really, I'm all right now. I screamed when I saw her face, and the nurse rushed in right away, so it all got handled before anything could happen.
I'm relieved nothing serious happened.
The hospital staff immediately called the police, so she didn't get away with it. I imagine by now she's probably being questioned by the police. Her family's definitely been notified too. With everything that's happened, I'm sure her engagement is done for.
Yeah, she's been totally unhinged ever since the wedding fell through. Honestly, she doesn't have a great education or career to begin with, and now with a criminal record? Her life's practically over. It's like she dug her own grave. I'm just glad you're cutting ties with her.
I know, right? The moment I saw her, the way she looked, I couldn't help but scream. She looked like a completely different person, like a demon or something.
She even tried reaching out to me for help, saying she was begging on her knees to her fiancé, asking him to take her back, saying it was impossible for them to break up. But honestly, anyone with a shred of common sense would run far away from someone that selfish and manipulative. Marrying her would have been a disaster for him.
Yeah, I feel bad saying this, but I can't find it in me to feel sorry for her.
Of course not. After everything she's put you through, there's no reason to. You know what she said to me when I refused to help her? She said, "Fine, I'll make sure you feel the same pain. I'll ruin your relationship too. You'll regret this." Can you believe that?
Wow, even now, she's still going down the path of self-destruction. Honestly, I think she only saw her friends as tools to pass the time. The second someone wasn't useful to her, they were just disposable.
Exactly. Friends to her were never about genuine connection or loyalty. They were just convenient, but I have a feeling that one day she'll regret all of this. It might take time, but she'll come to realize the consequences of what she's done.
Yeah, eventually. No one can make it through life entirely on their own. I think when she looks back and realizes she lost everyone she used to rely on, the loneliness will hit her hard. Then maybe she'll understand the weight of her choices.
Right. People like her never realize the value of what they had until it's all gone. When she's alone with nothing but the consequences of her actions, that's when the regret will sink in. And honestly, that's what she deserves.
I never wanted things to turn out like this, but I guess people's true colors come out when they feel cornered.
Yeah, it's sad that it had to end this way, but it's better that you saw her for who she really is. At least you can move on without any guilt or doubt, knowing you did your best.
Yeah, I guess so. Thanks, Amy. I really appreciate your support through all of this.
Of course, I'll always be here for you. Just focus on resting and getting better. Juliet's out of your life for good now, and you deserve peace.
Thanks. I'm really lucky to have you by my side.
Anytime, Dana. We've got each other's backs no matter what.
After returning to the outside world, Juliet sent a message to both Amy and me, apologizing for everything that had happened during the chaotic events that transpired. It was surprising to hear from her, given the gravity of the situation we had all endured. However, having discovered Juliet's true nature regarding the wedding incident, we couldn't bring ourselves to believe her words of apology. Her actions had been so hurtful and deceptive that it felt impossible to trust her again. It was as if her apologies were merely empty words, lacking any sincerity or remorse. We had seen her true colors during that time, and it had left a lasting impression on us. Consequently, we decided to block her phone number, ensuring that she would have no way to reach us. This decision felt necessary for our peace of mind, as we could no longer afford to entertain the possibility of her contacting us again. Blocking her was a way to protect ourselves from any further emotional turmoil. Since that day, neither Amy nor I have any knowledge of what has happened to Juliet. We've both moved on with our lives, trying to leave that painful chapter behind. I often wondered how she was doing, but the pain of her betrayal overshadowed any concern I might have had. The shock of being attacked in the hospital lingered for some time, and I realized I needed to make significant changes to my life to protect myself and find healing. In the aftermath of the traumatic event, I took the step to move to a new place. I wanted to ensure that Juliet would never be able to track me down again, that she wouldn't have the means to invade my life any further. The move was more than just a physical relocation. It represented a new beginning for me. A chance to redefine my life and surround myself with positivity and love. It was essential for my mental health and well-being. I now live with my boyfriend, someone with whom I have begun a relationship with the intent of marriage. His name is Davis, and our connection has blossomed into something truly special. Interestingly, Davis is someone I had feelings for in the past. Long before everything with Juliet transpired, he had always been kind and supportive, but at the time, I was unaware of how deep my feelings for him really ran. It wasn't until this recent incident that we reconnected on a more personal level. Davis reached out to me after hearing about what happened. He was genuinely concerned for my well-being, and his compassion was evident in every conversation we had. I found solace in his presence. He offered a listening ear and a shoulder to lean on, which was exactly what I needed during such a turbulent period. Our interactions gradually turned into something more profound as we both realized the potential for a loving relationship. As I spent more time with Davis, I began to see the beauty of having someone who truly cared about me. His unwavering support allowed me to open up about my fears and insecurities. And I felt a sense of comfort I hadn't experienced in a long time. It was refreshing to be around someone who genuinely wanted the best for me, someone who respected my boundaries and encouraged my healing process. I feel incredibly fortunate to have Davis by my side. He understands the challenges I've faced and supports me wholeheartedly. It's comforting to know that I have someone who cares about me deeply and is willing to stand by me as I navigate the aftermath of my experience with Juliet. We are building a life together, one filled with trust, respect, and affection, and it's refreshing to feel that sense of safety again. My health has been steadily improving since the incident. Both the physical and emotional wounds are healing, and I am grateful for the medical treatment I received. The doctors and nurses at the hospital played a crucial role in my recovery, and I have followed through with all the necessary therapies and checkups. Their expertise and kindness made a significant difference in my healing journey. Looking back at everything that transpired, I find myself with mixed feelings about Juliet. Despite the pain she caused, there's a small part of me that feels a hint of gratitude. After all, it was through the turmoil and the chaos that I ended up reconnecting with Davis. It's a strange irony that something so painful led to something beautiful. This experience has taught me a lot about resilience and the importance of surrounding myself with people who genuinely care for my well-being. Now, as I go about my daily life, I find a sense of peace that I hadn't felt in a long time. The days have become more manageable, filled with moments of joy and laughter with Davis. We enjoy exploring new places together, sharing meals, and simply being in each other's company. He brings a lightness to my life that helps to overshadow the dark moments from my past. Davis and I have developed our routines, creating a sense of normalcy amidst the changes. We often cook together, experimenting with new recipes and flavors. It has become a fun bonding activity. allowing us to share our favorite dishes and discover new ones. We also make it a point to spend weekends outdoors, hiking or taking long walks in the park, where we can connect with nature and enjoy each other's company. These moments of simple joy have helped me heal and regain a sense of self. We've also started discussing our future together. The conversations are filled with excitement and hope as we share our dreams and aspirations. It feels incredibly reassuring to know that we're on the same page when it comes to our relationship and what we want out of life. We talk about our goals, where we see ourselves in the coming years, and how we can support each other in achieving them. There's a comfort in having a partner who is not only supportive, but also shares similar values and goals. As I reflect on my journey, I realize how important it is to take care of my mental health. I've been actively working on self-care practices, engaging in activities that bring me joy and fulfillment. Whether it's reading a good book, going for long walks, or indulging in creative pursuits like painting or journaling, I make it a priority to nurture my spirit. It's been a healing process, allowing me to reconnect with myself and what truly makes me happy. Hey, I heard that you were going to be getting married from Mom. I never thought in a million years that you would ever get married. What's taken you so long? So tell me, who's the lucky guy? Probably some poor sap really down on his luck, huh? He's probably not that good looking either, right? What does he even do for a living, huh?
Hey there, sis. Glad to see that you're as rude as ever. Love how you've not changed a bit over the years. Why do you want to know what's happening with me anyways, Tatiana? I guess that means you must be doing well then, right? You must be in a really good mood if you're bothering me with all these questions about who I'm going to be marrying.
So, is it true? Are you really going to be getting married? Like it's not some lie that Mom said? Because she does that a lot so she can put you on a pedestal. What's the person like? I bet they're just some scammer after your money. I bet they're just some down-on-their-luck person who needs a lot of cash to survive, and you have it, I suppose. Who else would want to marry you? No handsome and hunky guy would ever want to marry you, as they're literally not aware of your existence. Or they can see that you're truly ugly.
Can you please just cut it out already, Tatiana? I'm really over you talking to me in this manner. I've been nothing but nice and patient with you throughout our childhood and our adult lives. I mean, we haven't talked in ages, and this is how you greet your little sister? I thought that since you've grown up a bit more over the years, maybe you'd be treating me better, but I guess not. I thought you might have been just a little more excited to hear that I was getting married. As sisters, I thought that you'd be more supportive, but I guess that's not going to happen either. Or is it that your life is going so horribly that you have nothing better to do but bring others down with you? Don't you know how horrible you're being to me right now, Tatiana?
You wish that were the case, dork! Wow, you whine a lot, don't you, Gina? You're really pathetic sometimes. You know that, right? It's so annoying to deal with. I just want to remind you that no matter how hard you try, you'll never be happy. Even if you get married, have children, and all that sort of crap. Especially not as happy as I am with my amazing husband. I've got the best life, and there's no way that you're going to beat me at life. I've won fair and square, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're just a bottom-dwelling piece of trash, and nothing is going to change that. No matter who you marry or what profession you have, you're still trash.
Okay, did you message me because you wanted to talk about something, or is this it? Are you just here to put me down? Because I don't need this crap right now. I never remembered even asking you to message me for anything, so please, whatever you have to say to me, say it now or stop messaging me altogether. If you want to congratulate me on my wedding, then do so and leave me alone. I've got a lot to do and I don't need your negativity hanging around in my head and distracting me, Tatiana.
Oh, right, that reminds me. I heard about where it was that you were going to be holding your wedding. I couldn't believe it when I heard about it. I was actually kind of taken aback, to be honest.
I guess news really does travel fast these days, doesn't it? How did you find out, huh? Were you snooping, trying to figure out all my plans or something?
You really think that your wedding is going to be good enough to make it worth holding at a place like that? You really think showing off is going to get you anywhere? What are you, a moron or something? You think pleasing others is going to make people like you more? You're so dumb and pathetic, and it's so embarrassing to watch.
What are you even talking about, Tatiana? All you're doing is insulting me, and it's not making any sense to me at all. What on earth are you trying to tell me, huh? If you have a problem with where I'm holding my wedding, then you should just come out and say it. Stop beating around the bush about it because it's not going to do anyone any good at all. Why are you even acting like this anyways? We're both adults, but sometimes it feels like I'm the only one who acts like it. You act like a child, and I don't appreciate when you're terrible to others.
Oh, really? You think you're so much more mature than me, huh? Are you kidding me right now? It's all because you can't take a joke and you're just weak. Well, I think that you're just getting upset because you know that what I'm saying is true. You're really just taking this all to heart way too much.
I really don't think so at all. Like, not even one little bit, Tatiana. I'm upset because of the way you're treating me more than anything and not having a decent conversation with me.
All I'm saying is that the place you got for your wedding is way too good for the likes of you. You're not a typical bride at all because you're ugly. You've got no style and no taste. And just how many people are you going to be inviting anyways? Do you even have enough people to invite to a venue like that? I don't think you've even got enough friends to come to this thing. You seriously need to learn your place. It doesn't belong in a venue like that. It belongs in some rundown shed on the edge of a highway or something. That's more your style, you ugly cow.
Wait a second. Are you just mad about where I'm getting married because it's in a bigger venue than where you did yours? Are you seriously kidding me right now? Is this what all of this is about?
Don't be ridiculous. Do you really think I would let myself be bothered by something so stupid? I'm not in the slightest bit jealous of where you're getting married at all, Gina. I just think that you're getting a bit uppity and need to stay where you belong. You'll never fit in with the likes of the rich and stylish people of California. You're just some poor piece of trash that will never fit in anywhere.
Oh, I see. Well, in that case, I don't think there's anything to be worried about. You seem to think about the really small things that I really don't mind about, to be honest. My fiancé made the reservations, and I think most of the guests there are going to be his anyways. I don't mind that at all, and it'll be a good time no matter who's there. He was going to be inviting friends and family, but also some people from his work as well as business partners. He actually knows quite a few people in this city, which is nice, and I can network at the reception afterwards. Does that make you feel better about the whole thing? That you know every single detail of my wedding day to my fiancé when I really think it's none of your business anyways?
So what, your husband works for some kind of big company or something like that? Does he actually know a lot of people, or are you just saying that to make him look more successful than he actually is? Is that your way of trying to brag about him to me? Because it's not going to work. I'll eventually figure out what kind of guy he is, and then you'll look like such an idiot.
No, he doesn't work for a company or anything like that at all. I don't know why you're being nosy about this when you never cared about anything I did with my life anyway.
Wait, what? So then he's just a freelancer or something like that then? That's really nothing. You know that, right? Any dummy can be a freelancer, but not everyone can be a successful one.
No, he's not that either. He just insists in the stock market and makes money that way. He does really well because he's really clever and strategic. It's pretty cool, actually. I don't really know all the details personally because I don't know a lot about stocks and that sort of thing, but I would be willing to learn more about it in the near future.
Wait, what? Is that the best you could come up with? Are you kidding me right now? That's your so-called excuse to hide what he actually does with his life? He obviously does nothing, right? So, basically, you're getting married to some small-time freelancer, and do you think I'm not going to go after you for that? You must be in the dark about all the things about him.
Well, it would certainly mean a lot to me if you didn't bully me for who I'm going to marry. That's really low if you're just going to continue like you are, Tatiana. I'm so over this. I don't really see how who I marry or where I do is really any concern of yours. Like I told you before, you never cared about the things I did as a kid, so why do you now, huh? So I think you'd be better off just not worrying about any of this at all, right? Can you just cool it with all this talk? I've got other things to focus on, Tatiana.
You really are a stupid little girl. Do you know that? It's like you were born stupid or something. It's so annoying actually having to talk to you in such simple terms, Gina. Sometimes I wish I could live in the fantasy world that you've made for yourself because it would be so fun to just make you suffer and see how much you cry and whine.
I'm sorry, Tatiana, but putting down others isn't going to change anything about your own life. And you're the one who's turned out this way. It's got nothing to do with me and how I've treated you. Maybe you should just worry about your own stuff and leave me alone, yeah? Maybe your life will improve a lot and you can actually forget about what I'm doing and focus on being a better person. Anyways, when I have more details about the wedding, I'll let you know. I suppose since you're being so nosy and things like that. But you should know that it's really not your business and you won't be the first to know. But don't think you're under any obligation to be there. I would hate for you to lower yourself just for me. All you do when you walk in is judge everything I do and everything you see around you, so I would rather you stay away.
I found out who your husband is, Gina. You really didn't think I wouldn't find out, but I knew that I had the ability to find out more about him, and you had no idea what I was doing.
What are you talking about this time, Tatiana? You message me and just be plain rude, and then you send this weird and mysterious message that you found out more information about my husband?
I really couldn't believe that it was him when I saw what he was wearing while going out into town. It was incredible that I found him when I did. I knew immediately that it was your husband. He stands out like a sore thumb. You really did marry some lowly little freelancer, didn't you? He looks like he just rolled out of bed and decided to go into town just in his pajamas or something. It's kind of nasty. He looks so gross, so I'm not surprised that you're marrying someone like him.
Tatiana, I really think you have no idea what you're even talking about. Also, you judging a book by its cover isn't going to get you anywhere in life or with us as a family. Must you always be so unkind?
No. I went around where you live and I saw your husband going out. It was so easy to spot him in his black athletic pants and sweater. It was embarrassing to see such a so-called successful person look like trash. Aren't you embarrassed by that at all? At first, I was like, is that really her husband? But then I thought, of course that's her husband because he almost looks as ugly as what she does and has no sense of fashion at all. It's so hilarious to see how alike you are. Truly, it is. I mean, I thought that you didn't have any sense of fashion, but this guy looked like he might have been homeless or something. He looks like such a bum, and it's so embarrassing to see. Must I really be his sister-in-law? Just what state could your home be in, I wonder? I bet it looks like a pigsty. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot of trash in every single room of your stupid little house. I would hate to live there.
Well, he works at home and was probably just going out to buy some lunch for himself. Also, would you quit hating on my house? You haven't been there, and there's no need to be so quick to judge. It's getting annoying. Is that really so weird to do? He's allowed to go out in the daytime. It's not rare for people to do that. And he's also allowed to wear whatever he wants. He doesn't have to be super dressed up. And just what are you doing coming around where I live to spy on us? That's pretty creepy, you know. Why on earth are you stalking my husband for? That's really weird, and we don't need you sneaking around near our house.
Creepy? How is it creepy for your older sister to see how you're living? I think I've got a right to see what's going on at your house and seeing what your husband is doing. He could be committing crimes or anything. I'm just doing my part by keeping the community safe.
Well, I guess I don't really mind since we're going to be moving out soon, but still, can you quit creeping around us? And also, don't assume my husband of anything. That's a horrible thing to say. Ugh, I'm so over these kinds of conversations with you, Tatiana.
I knew it! I knew that you were too embarrassed to tell me about your husband because he's just some shut-in slob. I knew that was all he was, and you were just too afraid to admit it, weren't you, Gina? You didn't want anyone to know, did you? But I found out because I'm super smart. Do our parents know that you're marrying this guy? This slob? This potential criminal? Do they have any idea that you're marrying some societal failure? To me, it's hilarious, but to them, probably not so funny.
I didn't think I needed their permission to marry who I want. I am literally an adult, and they just need to take the man I love for what he is, and that's it. You putting ideas into their head isn't going to work, Tatiana. But what I do want is for you to quit creeping around my house and spying on me. I am sick of how you treat me and the people I love, and I don't need you hanging around watching my every move. It's strange, and I don't need it.
Man, I sure am glad that I married the man that I did. If I married some creepy-looking loser like you, I don't know how I would live with myself. I would have failed miserably at life if I married someone like him.
You seriously just need to learn to mind your own business and stay out of mine. I've had enough of this, and you're literally pushing me to my limits. You really need to watch what you do next.
Hey there, sis. Just wanted to let you know that we won't be showing up to your wedding today. I bet that you're just so upset to get this message, but there is nothing that you are going to be able to do about it. You're going to have a terrible wedding, and I don't think you have any idea just how happy that makes me.
Are you kidding me? The wedding starts in 10 minutes, Tatiana. What are you even talking about? Please tell me that you're not being serious about this. I mean, you didn't really, actually, truly do this to me, did you? Do you know how much today means to me?
That sounds like a you problem. So don't keep crying about it to me. You really think that I'd ever care or try and help you just because you start to shed some crocodile tears? You're not going to get even an ounce of pity from me. You should just be grateful that I said anything to you at all. I wasn't going to tell you and make you stress out and be a bridezilla and all that sort of thing. It would have been funny to see you stress out. I can just imagine you running all over the show because of it. I know all about how you're just holding this wedding to scam people via wedding gifts. You just want money out of people since neither you or your husband can earn a decent living of your own, right? You just want everyone to buy you expensive stuff so that you can go and sell it all online and make a little money. Huh, how dare you treat people like this? You've got some nerve doing this to others. Well, my husband and I are just sitting here laughing at the state of your life right now. You really screwed this up for yourself and your husband. It wasn't hard to figure out what both of you were trying to do.
And just where in the world did you get the idea that that was happening? You're so far in your head that nothing you do is part of this reality, Tatiana. You have literally lost your mind, and you're such a hideous person. It seems to me like you're very quick to judge about things you know nothing about. You literally know nothing about what I'm doing today and for my future family, Tatiana. But are you seriously not going to show up to my wedding at all? Did you seriously just last minute cancel on your own sister's wedding?
It sure seems that way, doesn't it? Did you really think that I would seriously show up to your stupid wedding? I would be so embarrassed to be there and having to sit at the front seeing you and that scumbag kiss. Ew, it would be so cringe, to be honest. But this is what you get for forgetting your place and trying to be something that you're not. You'll never be successful, and you'll always be part of the bottom of society. That's where you belong, and that's my final say on the matter.
Well, thank you so much for texting me to remind me of that. I really needed that on what is supposed to be the happiest day of my life, Tatiana. What kind of sister says these sorts of things to anyone? It's absolutely horrible. And fine, don't show up. Have it your way. I really don't care that you don't show up, considering how terrible you've been to me. You're just hiding behind a screen bullying me to the point that I'm about to come over there and smack you.
I bet you two are dressed in just some of the shabbiest wedding clothes ever known to man. Where did you even get your wedding garments from anyway? A secondhand shop or something? I bet they have so many stains on them. I can almost see it now. Man, what a sad, pathetic sight it's got to be. It makes me wish that I was blind so that I didn't have to see anything. At least I won't need to now since we're not going to your stupid wedding anyways.
Well, then don't bother coming. It sounds to me like you've already made up your mind about that. I really don't give a crap if you come or not. You are literally the worst person on this planet. I'm glad that I don't have to put up with your presence today.
I bet we're not the only ones who canceled. I bet so many guests haven't bothered to show up and gave some lame excuse to you so that they didn't make you feel bad about not showing up. Who would even want to be there for you anyways? You're literally the most pathetic people I've ever had to deal with on this stupid planet, and I'm really glad that you hardly have any friends supporting you today.
Well, actually, things are going great, and there's even a few famous people at this great venue that we booked. So I guess it kind of ended up working out perfectly. I will say, you had me worried for just 1 second, but I should have known that you were all bark and no bite to begin with. I can't believe that I ever let you scare me. So basically, all of this is just to say that we don't want or need your company. In fact, I think the wedding is going to go much, much, much better without you. I'm actually really grateful that you're not here at all. I can't imagine just how poorly this wedding would have actually gone if you were here.
Famous people? Is that supposed to be a joke? You really expect me to believe that you have celebrities at your wedding right now? Please, do you have any idea just how pathetic it sounds that you have to stoop so low as to make up a lie like that just to try and trick me? You didn't actually think that would work, did you? I mean, come on, let's be real here. Why would there even be famous people at your wedding to begin with?
No, it's not a joke. In fact, I just want you to know that I don't even think of you as my sister anymore. After all of this crap that you've put me through, I just want nothing to do with you ever again. You really have done so much to try and ruin my day, and it just goes to show me how little you actually care for me. So even if you tried to come in, you wouldn't be able to. With all the people who are here, we need to beef up the security and make sure that everyone was protected from the likes of you common people. If you're curious for answers, maybe you should Google my husband's name and see what comes up. I bet you'll be very surprised to see who I'm marrying today. I really thought that you were smart enough to figure out who he was the day you stalked him.
Gina, what the heck is the meaning of all this, huh? Hey, you need to answer me right now because I'm your sister and I need to know everything you're doing right now. Why aren't I being let into your wedding? I've got every right to be here and I'm not allowed through the venue doors. What is this madness? Don't you know that I'm your sister? What the heck is going on? Explain this all to me right now, or you're going to feel my wrath. I mean it! I'm going to make sure that you let me in and drag you in front of everyone and tell them how horrible you are for not letting me in.
I already told you that you wouldn't be able to get in if you tried, didn't I? What do you not understand from what I just said to you, Tatiana? There is no way that you're going to be able to do anything to me today.
Are you seriously kidding me right now, Gina? You weren't actually being serious about that, were you? Are you for real? This is insane! Let me in! Can't you hear me knocking on these huge double doors?
Of course not. I didn't want you here ruining the day, not just for me, but for Mom and Dad, too. And just what are you doing, showing up so late to my wedding anyways?
What am I doing? I want to know what you're doing! You said your husband was an investor, but when I Googled him, a bunch of TV clips came up where he's being interviewed about the market. I had no idea that he was such a big deal in the finance world. Even I've heard of him, and I don't even follow that kind of news.
Okay, well, thank you for telling me that, but what do you want me to do about it? You already knew what he looked like when you were spying on us, although he normally isn't dressed like that when he goes on TV.
But I had no idea what he even looked like, much less what he looked like in street clothes. And I had no idea that you were going to be marrying such a rich guy. But that means that you have to just be marrying him for his money, right? This is all just part of a big plot of yours, isn't it?
Can you please just give it a rest already, Tatiana?
What do you mean by that?
I mean that I work as an editor for a rather large business magazine. That's how we met. We bonded over mutual interests, and now we're getting married, and that's it.
But you're really just after him for his money, right? You should have introduced me to him when you met him. I'm a way better match for him than you are.
You literally had no idea who he was until just a moment ago. Can you please stop acting like you're owed anything?
But it isn't fair. I'm way prettier than you. Why do you get a husband like that?
I don't know what you want me to say to that. He's marrying me because he loves me, and that's that. If anyone is thinking about marrying someone just for the money, it's you. You had no interest in my fiancé at all until you found out who he really was. Don't try and lump me in with people like you.
What do you mean? Why are you being so mean to me? I didn't even do anything.
Except that you've been putting down my husband while knowing nothing about him, despite the fact that you've also been stalking us like a creep. So if you want to know why you're not being let into our wedding, you can start there.
But you're my sister. I have to be there at your wedding.
I thought I already told you that you aren't my sister anymore. I want nothing to do with you ever again. Got it?
You think you can treat me like this just because you're getting married to a rich guy? Well, I'll just steal him right from under you. What do you think of that?
I think that you're talking nonsense and you don't even realize what you're saying. And that's just another reason why we're not letting you in. You're just here to make a big scene and ruin my wedding.
But I haven't even done anything wrong. How can you just accuse me like that?
We literally hired security for our wedding with you showing up and trying to do something like you are right now in mind. All you're doing is embarrassing yourself right now. Why don't you save some of your pride and just go home already, Tatiana?
But this isn't fair. I got dressed up and came all the way here, and now you're telling me that you're not going to let me in? It's outrageous. How could you do this to me? All I did was cancel at the last minute. Is that really so bad?
I think that you only have yourself to blame for all this, and that it's not fair for you to act like I'm being unfair right now. Just leave and save yourself more embarrassment. You're being filmed by the security cameras, you know.
But I really want to go to your wedding now that I knew famous people are going to be there. You have to introduce me to someone, please.
Aren't you married?
Forget about that. What about after the wedding is over? Is there going to be a reception somewhere? Maybe I can just meet you all there, right? Please, tell me where to go.
Just go home already, Tatiana. You know, this wedding might show up in some newspaper somewhere. Can you please just go before people find out that we're related? You're going to embarrass me and our family.
Excuse me? I'm going to embarrass our family. How dare you look down on me like that? Who do you think you are? You know, Mom and Dad reached out to me after I told you I wasn't going to your wedding, and they told me never to contact them again. You're trying to cut me out of your life when I didn't even do anything. My life's falling apart right now, and it's all your fault. You have to help me out somehow.
Why should I help you out with anything when this is all your fault?
What do you mean by that? That doesn't make any sense.
I really don't know what you even think I can do for you at this point. There are already rumors flying around the wedding about the crazy lady asking to be let in. There would be no point in joining the wedding now. The best you can do is just turn around and go home to save face. All you're doing is making yourself look bad now.
I'm the one making me look bad? You've got some nerve to tell that to me. This is all your fault, you little brat.
I don't have time for this anymore. I know that you've built yourself up by tearing me down, but I am not going to stand for it anymore. I am cutting you out of my life. Please never, ever contact me again. Just leave me alone, Tatiana.
But what about the wedding? I still want in. You can't just turn me away like this. I'm really sorry for canceling last minute, but please.
I've already given you my answer. Now please go home and get out of my life. After that, I just started ignoring my sister's texts. As she got more and more frustrated with not being let into the venue, she began acting out more and more. It got to the point where people began filming her antics and uploading them online, where she became somewhat viral. Her newfound popularity from screaming to be let inside of this celebrity wedding was enough to affect her husband, who was quickly identified after she went viral. It didn't take long after that for him to ask Tatiana for a divorce. With no husband or family willing to talk to her, Tatiana was left alone. I'm sure she tried reaching out to me for help, but I had already blocked her on all social media and she had no way of contacting me. Tatiana hadn't worked since getting married and so had no savings of her own to speak of. I really have no idea what happened to her since then, but I've put her behind me and have concentrated on my own happiness with my loving husband and parents.